and we will call this February 1st, 2024 Board of Police Commissioners meeting to order. We'll begin by a word of invocation, which we'll receive from Chaplain Angela Stallworth. Chaplain Stallworth?
Amen. Yes, I'm here.
Go right ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes.
All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you. Thank you, Father, for being timely, to be right on time, God. I thank you for allowing us to come together today to join in this auspicious occasion to discuss the affairs of our city. First, giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and to the new Police Commissioner, Darrell Wood Sr., and the board members in their respective places. I thank you, Father, for allowing us to once again meet to attend to the affairs of the citizens of this fine city and to serve and protect them, Father. I'm asking that everything be done decent and in order, and that in alignment with your will. Father, I'm asking first that you will cover our police officers that serve so diligently and faithfully in the affairs of our city every day. Lord, that they, their interests and their affairs would be considered. And I'm asking you, Lord, that in all things that you would get all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And we just give you thanks right now and consider everything done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so very much for that prayer of invocation. And now at this time, we'll have the introduction of commissioners by Mr. Brown.
Chairperson Quantrez Presley.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Willie Bell.
Present.
Commissioner Tamara Liberty Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Linda Bernard.
Attorney Linda Bernard, District 2, present.
Commissioner Cedric Banks.
Present.
Commissioner Willie Burton. Commissioner Lisa Carter. Commissioner Ricardo Moore.
Present.
Commissioner Jesus Hernandez. Commissioner Roy Gamble. Commissioner Darrell Woods.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We do indeed have a quorum, and so now we'll move forward with the approval of the February 1, 2024 agenda. Is there any objection to the agenda being approved? Hearing no objection, those minutes, the agenda is approved. And now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes for the January 25th, 2024 meeting. Is there any objection to these minutes? Hearing no objection, the minutes are also approved. We'll now move on to the introduction of BOPC staff, Chief of Police, elected officials, representatives, and community leaders by Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Currently, we have Chief Investigator Jerome Warfield, Parliamentary Dr. Francis Jackson, Ms. Teresa Blossom, Ms. Jasmine Taylor, Ms. Candace Underwood, Acting Supervisor Investigator Elgin Murphy, American Sign Language interpreters Dr. Stephanie Beatty and Ms. Chikata, DPDHR Director Katrina Portillo, Mr. Don Handyside, our court reporter, sides during the video, and sitting in for the chief is Deputy Chief Franklin Hayes, and for the elected officials, Ms. Marie Overall, State Representative Tyrone Carter's office, Ms. LaDon Davis, City Council Member Fred Druhall's office, former Commissioner William Davis, Ms. Frida Butler, Community Relations President of the 2nd Precinct, Mr. Ron Thomas, DPOA Vice President, and I believe Ms. Sherry Wyrick, DPOA Attorney.
All right, thank you. We're so grateful for everyone's attendance and are hoping that it adds to the productivity of today's meeting. With that, we now move on to the Board of Police Commissioners Officers Report. And I'll just take this opportunity to share with the public. As you can see on our agenda, we do have several closed sessions, and so that will require for us to exit and enter the room on several occasions. And so I just want to give you a heads up on that because it will feel inconvenient, but it's necessary for us to handle the matters of closed business. With that, is there any other BOPC officers report? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Chief of Police report, where we have DC Hayes.
Mr. Chair, thank you, and good afternoon, excuse me, to this honorable body.
Microphone.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, go right ahead.
Again, Mr. Chair, good afternoon, and certainly to this honorable body and those that are in attendance, both in person as well as joining us virtually. I am Franklin Hayes, Deputy Chief of our Crime Strategies Bureau here in the Police Department, and I'd like to share with you what's going on here this week, as well as a roadmap for February here for the Police Department. Currently, we have one member who is disabled and recovering at home from the 6th Precinct. As I look, this member was, sorry, trying to get my notes here together. This member was injured while responding to a shots in progress run on the 12,000 block of Burt Road, where this member sustained gunshot wounds. This member is recovering and in every effort to get back in the saddle, so to speak, and return to service. So again, this member is recovering, but very promising, very optimistic that they will make a full recovery and join the ranks once again. Sharing some statistical data, as of January 24th of this year, we continue a trend that we left off in last year, which we were extremely proud of last year, but we know our work isn't done. But staying on that trend, our homicides, year to date, we are down 25%. Last year we had 20. This year we are at 15, 5 less homicides. Non-fatal shootings, we are down 21%. Last year we had 52. This year we had 41. Our robberies, last year we had 127. This year we had 89. So our total violent crime, a 9% reduction. Last year we had 913 incidents. This year we are at 832. Lastly, carjacking. We are at a 33% reduction. There were 18 carjackings this time last year. This year we are at 12. Again, so certainly with a strategy that is, strategy that is extremely comprehensive, where we take both a micro look at crime that's going on in addition to the macro, to look at specific areas and with our deployment and work of the community. We know we cannot do this by ourselves, but we are, again, very proud of the numbers year to date with this violent trend going favorably and a reduction. Our mental health related calls year to date, we are at, again, the 5 categories where it's mental, nonviolent, mental violent armed, mental violent not armed, our suicide in progress, and our suicide threats. For service calls, last year we had 1,198. This year we are at 1,095. So we have partnerships with our mental health co-response as well as community stakeholders that understands that this is not a crime, mental health is not a crime, and we cannot arrest our way out of it, and handcuffs are not the remedy. So working and getting those the help that they need, these numbers are promising. Overdose-related calls, either overdose or one down. Last year, we had 371. This year, we're at 330. So again, with those partnerships that we're working with collectively, we are seeing reductions that we are extremely proud of, and we hope that this trend continues. Just to share some significant events, a homicide that happened on January 25th at 11 p.m. where officers responded to the 18,000 block of Kelly on a call for service of a homicide. When officers arrived to the scene, they observed the victim in the kitchen, suffering several gunshot wounds to the body. The officers rendered medical aid and assistance until medics got there, where he was transported to St. John's Hospital, where the victim succumbed to his injuries. Detectives that got the victim the detective discovered that the victim got into an argument with one of the witnesses at the scene, who is the mother of his child. The suspect, who is the witness's brother, arrived at the scene and began to argue. The suspect shot the victim and then left the location and fled. This suspect has not been apprehended, but anyone with the information with this homicide that occurred in the 18,000 block of Kelly, we are urging you and asking you, pleading with you, to bring this family closure and certainly accountability to this person for this actions by calling 1-800-SPEAK UP at Crime Stoppers, Detroit Rewards TV, as well as Detroit Police Homicide. A carjacking that occurred on February 26th in the 11,000 block of East 7 Mile, where officers spoke to the victim, who stated that he and the suspect were in a 2005 Ford Escape when they began to argue. The victim states the suspect struck him 7 to 8 times in the face, threw him out the vehicle, and drove off eastbound on 7 Mile. The victim received facial injuries as a result of the attack, and medics transported our victim to the hospital, where officers from the 9th Precinct, from that point the investigation began. Officers from the 9th Precinct held the scene, and detectives from our commercial auto theft were notified and responded. The victim's vehicle was discovered in the 10,000 block of West 7 Mile. The detectives have identified and are currently searching for the suspect and asking anyone with any additional information, again, to please contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK UP, Detroit Rewards TV as well. Want to skip down to a missing persons investigation that occurred January 27th of this year in the 15,000 block of Wildermere on a call for a missing person possibly shot. Officers arrived at the scene to check the area for a person possibly shot at the location. Officers were unable to locate a victim at this time. However, officers discovered evidence that a shooting may have occurred at that location. While at the scene, family members arrived and stated that the officers that they have received a phone call stating that their relative had been shot earlier that day at that location. Officers canvassed the area and have been unable to locate the victim. However, the victim's vehicle was discovered burned in the 1700 block of West Grand Boulevard later that day. Detectives from the Missing Persons Unit responded to the scene and are leading this investigation. At this time, the victim has not been found, and this investigation is ongoing. As recent as today, in various areas throughout the city, we are conducting searches with officers that just got out of the academy, and it's possible as this search expands to bring this family closure, you may see academy students out as well, combing the areas that our technology, we have those investigative leads to possibly recover this person's remains, if not save their life if they're being held captive. So more to come. We will certainly keep you updated as to this investigation, but anyone with any additional information, please contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK UP, as well as Rewards TV. Just 3 things in the community. Our business community CompStat meeting occurred Tuesday, January 30th, where the 11th Precinct held their precinct business community CompStat. This meeting allowed for businesses to address concerns and challenges, learn about our crime stats as well as crime prevention, and build relationships with their precinct officers. So certainly we work with our community, but also to our corporate stakeholders to have relationships with them as well in our various precincts and throughout the city. Also on Tuesday, at the Charles H. Wright Museum, our DPD Explorers and our Explorers Advisories went to Charles A. Wright Museum to film content for Black History Month. The content will be shared on DPD's social media page throughout the month of February. And on Wednesday, the 6th Precinct hosted their monthly community meetings for local citizens to attend. On today, the 10th as well as the 9th Precincts will be holding their monthly community meetings as well. That completes my report, but at this time I would like to certainly turn this over and I will relinquish this seat to Chief White.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And are there any questions for the chief of the chief's report?
Just a comment.
Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you for an excellent report, Deputy Chief Haynes. I'd also like to say that I congratulate our community and the community organizations and the board members that work so intensely with community organizations. It is a victory for us all that there's been 9%, I think you said, reduction in crime. But as I say all the time, that means the community is standing down. That means the community is making, as you say, Chief, better choices in terms of the things to do. So I want to congratulate the people of the city of Detroit for this reduction in crime, as well as law enforcement. Also, I noticed in your the package of notices that we got from you, that there is going to be a de-escalation training by Wayne State University law enforcement for our officers. I'm concerned, however, and I think that's a great idea, it's a 2-day training, but I'm concerned that it's limited, I think, to 15 officers. We have a department of more than 2,000. I would like to think that all of our officers might be able to benefit, whatever they're doing, it doesn't, whether they're on the street or not, from this particular training. So I'd simply request that you look into that if you can, or you can rotate them, 15 now, 15, whatever. But I just think the 2-day training at the university is a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And through the chair, regarding the de-escalation training, as the board is aware, we do a comprehensive de-escalation training segment in our academy, as well as our 40-hour training that is annual, and we also have a robust policy around de-escalation. We took this opportunity with Wayne State's de-escalation training to see if it's anything new that we can learn from. We're sending this first group. If we are able to, if it's better than what we're doing, if it's more advanced, and then we'll be incorporating it department-wide, and you'll see a trainer-trainer segment for our officers.
Okay, thank you.
I would also, if I may, very briefly, just brief this body on what you may have heard about with regards to DDOT and the potential of us taking over.
Go right ahead.
Make you aware, and I'll do so very briefly. We are exploring the return of policing responsibilities for the DDOT transportation system, the DPD, responding to requests, quite frankly, from the community as well as some of the drivers as it relates to safety and security on the bus system. This move responds to that request as well as returns us to where we were many, many years ago with those services. As of right now, the People Mover Police will be intact. There's no conversation regarding them not providing that service. They will do what they do best. As it relates to the DDOT, the drivers, we would look at taking over those services later this year. There's roughly a $5 to $7 million budget that we are going through right now and looking at. We anticipate about 50 to 70 police officers at DPD dedicated to protecting the transportation system. As of now, we are exploring all options, including those members that are currently assigned to transit, getting opportunities with the Detroit Police Department, those that fall within the opportunities that are provided by the department with regards to the rules, regulations, as well as the MCO standards. And so that's where we're at. I look forward to briefing this body when we have more information, but you've probably heard some conversation at the very least about us in that process.
All right, thank you. Any further comments with the chief? Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, drug testing. The late, great Ron Scott, Coalition of Police Against Police Brutality, always advocated for drug testing to take place after a critical incident. Is there any conversation about that now, considering marijuana, alcohol, for all practical purposes, is more common now amongst our members?
Through the chair, no conversation on critical incident drug testing. We are still participating in random drug testing of our members, though.
Okay. And my second question is one photo lineups. The policy committee was looking at the policy that you submitted to us, and it didn't mention anything about one photo lineups. And I was wondering, is that a practice, a common practice that DPD uses? And if not, how come it wasn't in the policy?
Through the chair, just a point of clarification, one photo lineups?
Yeah, not the six-pack, but a one photo lineup. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with it, and they're prohibited. Our new policy requires at minimum a six-pack, and it's a blind draw. And in fact, we've made the policy even more extensive, and this was in light of some issues we discovered that this board is aware of regarding what actually led to a false identification. So now it's a double blind draw, which means the investigator who knows the perpetrator and knows who or who he or she suspects for the crime does not participate in the six-pack. The blind draw would be another investigator conducts the six-pack and shows the photos to the victim, to not bias the review of the photos and do anything to urge who one may think is the suspect to the victim. We think it's cleaner that way, and that's why you did not see a single photo in that policy.
I'll follow up with a conversation with Commander Parrish.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Quick.
I'm going to come back. Commissioner Banks? Oh, and let the record reflect we have been joined by Commissioner Burton. Go right ahead.
All right, thank you. Through the chair. Chief, blessings to you and your household.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 25% reduction in homicide. Is that right? Did I hear that right? 25%?
It's early, but yes, sir.
That's incredible. That's solid. That's solid. Also, on February the 28th, we are having the Citizens Complaint Committee. Eric Ewing is normally there. Assistant Chief Ewing is normally there with us in that meeting on every time we have one. Chief, is there any way we can get an MPO out also? Because I would like to have an MPO out. Can you help us? Can you help us?
Done.
Wonderful.
All right, Commissioner Bernard?
Just real quickly, in the packet, Chief, there's a notice about tow fees, and the new process that you have where there's an accident, DPD is to respond, and a DPD tower, and if the person, I guess, doesn't want the DPD tower, then they have to sign a form or something saying, we let you take your own car with a tower of your choice. My question is, just to make sure, because we've had so many complaints, and you're aware of them, about quote, community towers or whatever you want, private towers, that's not wrong, community is the wrong word, private towers sort of ripping off Detroiters and other people who are in Detroit with both the tow fee as well as this overnight storage fee and stuff. Are all of the towers that will be towing by police mandated to have a certain fee for the actual tow and a certain fee for the storage that is, if you will, community friendly?
Well, I don't know how we would define community friendly, but I will say that we have a set tow fee that's part of the policy as well as part of their contract. And the storage fees are controlled by that same contract on City of Detroit approved towers, including DPD.
Okay, so okay. If you could look at that and make sure that when you get a chance and see what those fees are, just let us know, because we get these complaints, as you know, right in this room, frequently.
I'll provide this body
About
with a
our
copy.
towers. I know you can't tell me about the private guys.
One more quick one.
I'll provide you all with a copy of the policy
Thank you.
regarding that. And that's where that rule that you're referencing came out of. We had citizens who were being charged exorbitant fees for tolls, and they thought they were using City of Detroit approved tolls or the City of Detroit's towing unit, and we found that there are literally some towers that are following the accident calls and saying, I'll tow your car, and they thought it was a city tow, so that's why they have to do the release at the scene.
Thank you. That's a good policy.
Okay, any other comments? Commissioner Banks?
This is gonna be real quick, Mr. Chair. Chief, haven't seen you in a while. How your well-being been doing? I haven't seen you in a little while. I'm just checking on your well-being.
Thank you for asking, sir. I'm hanging in there.
Okay, good.
All right, excellent. And so as you can see that there are some extra attendees at today's meeting, and just so that we all are aware, again, we did receive information from DPD at the end of last week relative to some promotions. However, when we noted that there were 5 closed sessions, we initially scheduled to have that conversation about the promotions next week. Okay, so that's why you didn't see it in your packets with your agenda. But after speaking to DPD and my understanding that Chief White will be out of the country next week.
I want to go.
There was a desire that we would handle those today. And so you did receive that through email, but I will leave to my colleagues your comfort level in handling that today versus waiting to next week. If by chance we end up waiting to next week, we then can still get Chief White's comments on the record regarding these promotions. But I will leave it up to the will of my colleagues. And so the chair entertains a motion. Would that be to suspend the rules to add that to the meeting, or?
You would have to move to suspend the rules. It's a non-debatable motion. It requires 2/3 to be adopted.
Okay, so the chair entertains a motion to
So
moved.
And amend the agenda.
suspend the rules and amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, oh, it's 2/3, so we need a roll call vote?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mr. Brown?
Chairperson Presley,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Burton,
No.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Gamble, Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, so 7 yes votes, 1 no votes, that motion passes. And so that's just to suspend the rules. So now do we need a motion to actually handle the promotions, or that does
Suspend the rules and amend the agenda by adding this item. It's all one motion, sir.
Okay, so that's done then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so we can handle the matter of promotions. And so Chief White, it's on you.
Well, let me first start off by thanking this honorable body for taking this up. The reason that I asked, because I knew there wasn't a lot of homework with these candidates. These are really strong candidates, good backgrounds, no significant number of citizens' complaints. Not going to be testifying on anything other than the fact that they are ready for promotion. I will start with Lieutenant Erica Frederick, was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on May 27, 2003 as a police officer. Lieutenant Frederick was assigned to the 13th precinct, or I'm sorry, the 13th Patrol Operations Precinct after completing the Detroit Metropolitan Police Academy, and that's what it was called at that time. During her tenure as an officer, she worked Patrol, Special Operations, Central District, Northeastern District, and the 10th Precinct. In addition to Patrol Operations, she was also assigned to the Vice Enforcement Unit. On December 19th, 2016, Lieutenant Frederick was promoted to the rank of Sergeant and was assigned to the 5th Precinct. While assigned to the 5th Precinct, she was appointed to the rank of Master Sergeant. Additionally, she served in the Training Academy. And also I want to just state that she worked under Assistant Chief Eric Ewing, where she did a phenomenal job, and he mentored her in her role. On December 20th, 2022, Lieutenant Frederick was appointed by this body to lieutenant and assigned as the officer in charge of our Force Investigation Unit. Lieutenant Frederick is a graduate of Cleary University with a Bachelor of Business Administration in Leadership and Diversity, as well as public safety. Lieutenant Frederick has expertise in areas of active shooter, tactical techniques, incident command systems, advanced vice and narcotics training, tactical medical first aid, critical incident containment, dignitary protection, cultural awareness and sensitivity, emotional survival for law enforcement officer, and officer survival tactics as an instructor who develops other members of the department, has done a phenomenal job serving at our Force Investigation Units, and she also presents at our officer-involved shootings and critical incidents involving officers' use of force. Professional, dedicated, and ready to lead. Proudly recommend her for the position of captain.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Moore.
So, Chief, I have a captain that's bouncing between the 6th precinct and the 10th precinct.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm going to tell you about that. So we have Commander Starks, who is in the FBI Academy. So that left a pretty big hole at number 10. Unfortunately, we had an incident involving a command officer that I had to take immediate action on and relieve of that command and duty of captain, which gave us 2 openings at that assignment. And so in doing so, I sent a captain over there to assist, and Commander Alvarado, who's our management services commander, who's doing a good job over at number 10, I might add, to hold it down until Commander Starks comes back from FBI Academy. Starks will be returning to the 10th Precinct, but upon her arrival, she will meet her new captain, who's in this room right now, should this board approve it.
Who might that be?
Well, if you approve it,
Who might that
that's going to be Lieutenant Shannon Hampton.
All right, is Lieutenant Frederick here? Okay, just so we can see you. Excellent. Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Can you all switch your nameplates?
Okay.
Yeah. Confused me there for a minute.
She
Right
thinks she
ahead.
me anyway. We're not behind the 8 ball on this, Chief. We did our homework on these, and it was, we did a deep dive. We got the information from our team, and we was able to research the background, and I say that they do have stellar backgrounds. So I'm definitely here to support this without question, but we are doing our due diligence, and as long as you read, we can be able to get the answers that we need, and I think we have some good product here.
Okay, so the chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Erica Frederick to the rank of captain.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Burton.
Mr. Chairman, this information, all of this information about appointments just came to the board as of late last night. The board really have not had opportunity to really go through all of the promotions. And so I'd like to really amend that we postpone this to the following week so we can have our due diligence to really exercise our fiduciary responsibility by looking at each one of these promotions.
That motion needs a second. The motion to postpone will need a second.
Is this to postpone it to next week?
The
This
chair-
information came in late last night.
The chair hears no second, so there is no amendment to the motion. Is there any further discussion? Right? Yes.
Again, I would
Mr. Woods.
just emphasize that once the information got to my desk, I read, and I made phone calls, I made inquiries, and based upon that, I did a deep dive, like I would trust that all of my other board members have done the same, and so I would say I'm ready to move forward with this.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, again, the motion is to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Erica Frederick to the rank of captain. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose, no.
Abstain.
The ayes have it. Congratulations.
she present?
Yeah, she's right at the microphone. Yeah, you can briefly share some remarks.
Thank you to this board. I would like to thank the chief and the executive team for trusting me in this new leadership role. And I'd like to say I'm ready to serve the citizens of the city of Detroit. So thank you to the board, thank you to the chief and the executive team. Also, I want to thank my mentors, just to name a few, Assistant Chief Eric Ewing, DC Sloan, Commander Cynthia Russell, my friends that are in the room that's always supported me throughout my career, my family that's watching back home. Thank you all. Thank you.
Congratulations, Captain Frederick. Chief, your next recommendation?
Next recommendation, Lieutenant Shannon Hampton. Lieutenant Shannon Hampton was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on June 11, 2001. As a police officer, Lieutenant Hampton was assigned to the 4th Precinct Patrol Operations. During her tenure as an officer, she worked patrol operations for the 2nd Precinct in the Southwest District. In addition to investigative operations, she was assigned to Organized Crime Unit, Criminal Investigations, Headquarters Surveillance, and Internal Control Operations. On November 25th, 2013, Lieutenant Hampton was promoted to the rank of Sergeant and was assigned to Force Investigation Unit. Additionally, she served in the Public Corruption Integrity Unit, and then later returning to Force Investigation Unit. Her other experiences include working in the Office of Civil Rights and Planning, Research and Deployment under Special Operations, or Support Operations, excuse me. It is through her work in the Public Corruption Integrity Unit and Support Operations and Planning and Research Development, Lieutenant Hampton has acquired valuable leadership and supervisory experience. On June 29, 2020, Lieutenant Hampton was promoted by this honorable body to lieutenant and assigned as the officer in charge of the Force Investigation Unit. Additionally, Lieutenant Hampton served as the officer in charge of police law. Lieutenant Hampton is currently assigned to the Management Services Section. Lieutenant Hampton holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a master's of science in administration of justice and security, and a graduate certificate in business administration from Wayne State University. Lieutenant Hampton has an extensive background in leadership. And just as an added point for this body, during COVID in 2020, when it first hit, Lieutenant Hampton was instrumental in helping stabilize his agency. We didn't know what the heck we were going to do when we had so many members going down with COVID. So we had to stand up a COVID response unit very quickly. She was one of 3 people assigned to it to help get people to the hospital and get services delivered to them, get PPE to them, and she did so with distinction and leadership while fighting oftentimes through COVID herself. So very thankful to have her on the team, very proud to recommend her as captain, and she's going to do a great job at the 10th Precinct with her commander.
Thank you. Chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Shannon Hampton to the rank of captain.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Burton.
Mr. Chairman, once again, we must not rubber stamp any of these promotions today. We just got this information late last night. We have not had opportunity to raise questions with our staff. We have been down this road before where this board has approved promotions and it came back to backfire against this board. I'm not saying that we don't have good applicants or candidates up here today for promotion, but what I am saying is that the chief had to have known at some time that he wanted to promote his officers to these different ranks. We have not had the same due diligence to really weigh in on these promotions. I mean, it would have been nice if we could have had a week at best. But to do this today, and this information came in last night, and we have not got a chance to really sit down with our staff, raise questions, it's preposterous. And that's the reason why, I made the motion to amend the motion so we can postpone this to the following week. It would have been nice to have gotten a second from one of my colleagues today.
It's reasonable, but just to be clear again, the department did send the information last week. We held it again because I didn't think that we would have time to do it this week. So it was sent out yesterday from our staff, but they did do their due diligence, and I'm confident that our colleagues have done the same. I know that I have. I know that it has been stated that it's been done. And if you had an opportunity to peruse through the emails, again, you'll see that there's not many questions that will be raised from their exemplary track records. And so, again, it is within your right to vote no, and that is reasonable to do. Commissioner Woods.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to question. I called Mr. Brown late last night. As of late last night, talked to him throughout the process to be able to make sure that we had all the information. Our team got us all of the complaints that they may have had or any of the things that they possibly could have went through. So it was a deep dive into this matter. And so based upon that, there's no rubber stamp here. Because if there's some red flags, we definitely would have saw that and would have heard that. And then you also have to look at, this board brought the chief in, and the chief need a team to be able to help continue to reduce the crime in this city. And so I have confidence in this chief, and I think this board had confidence in this chief to do his job. So based upon that, I'm ready to roll.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Sir.
Yes, Commissioner Smith.
Yes, through the chair. I believe that I received my email in a timely manner. Even speaking with some of my colleagues yesterday, overviewing the emails, some of the officers I do know personally, and I do support the chief and his recommendation. The officers that we've supported in the past have been great, and I believe these will be as well.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, again, the motion on the floor is to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Shannon Hampton to the rank of captain. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Abstain.
The ayes have it. Congratulations. Captain Hampton, go right ahead.
Through the chair, I'd like to thank this honorable board for this opportunity, to the chief and the executive staff here at DPD and all of those who have supported me throughout my 22 years here. I look forward to this opportunity to serve the community at the 10th Precinct, and I look forward to doing great things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Right ahead, Chief.
The next is going to be Lieutenant Dana Russell, and she's not here. I just was informed she's unfortunately homesick.
Okay.
She wanted to be here, and she wanted you to connect a name with a face. Many of you may already know her. Lieutenant Dana Russell was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on June 24th, 1996. As a police officer, Lieutenant Russell was assigned to the 9th Precinct Patrol Operations. During her tenure as an officer, she worked in patrol special operations. Officer Russell gained investigative experience as a member of the Commercial Auto Theft Unit, Investigative Operations, and Armed Robbery Home Invasion Unit. She is a dynamo. On December 19th, 2016, Lieutenant Russell was promoted by this honorable body to sergeant, and she was put in charge, once again, of the Commercial Auto Theft Unit. There's a common theme here with that. In addition, she was assigned to Headquarters Surveillance Transit Team, where she was responsible for managing the daily operations of Headquarters Surveillance and ensuring proper conduct, appearance, discipline, training of the subordinates there. On January 14th, 2024, once again, Lieutenant Russell was appointed by this honorable body to lieutenant and assigned to Organized Crime Unit, where she served as the officer in charge of the Commercial Auto Theft Unit. In her responsibilities, she managed and supervised sworn and non-sworn staff, prepared reports and auto theft statistics, developed strategies, and conducted numerous operations aimed at reducing auto theft and worked collaboratively and closely with other units throughout the department. Lieutenant Russell holds a master's degree in administration of justice and security. Let me do that again. She holds a master's degree in administration of justice and security and a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration, both from the University of Phoenix. Through her distinguished career, Lieutenant Russell has earned numerous accolades, including the 9th Precinct Officer of the Year and the Spirit of Detroit Award, Chief's Merit Award, and Outstanding Police Service and citations throughout the department. Just one additional point about Lieutenant Russell. She has run our Commercial Auto Theft Unit most recently and has done just an amazing job. She took over that unit. We were up in carjackings, which is her focus. Her comprehensive approach, detail orientation, and using the data to tell her where to assign her officers and how to address this. We closed out the year for the first time in many, many, many years. And I think this is the highest reduction, but please don't hold me to that because I have not checked that stat. But I know it's been years with a 34% reduction in carjackings in the city of Detroit. And it's directly attributed to the plans and processes that she put in place under the leadership of her boss, Deputy Chief Sloan, and her team over at Commercial Auto Theft. Could not be prouder to recommend her as a captain in our department. Her assignment will be downtown services. She's going to go down there. She's going to address a lot of the theft, auto thefts, and robberies and things such as that. And we're excited to have her take that assignment.
Okay. The chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Dana Russell to the rank of captain.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr.
Just-
Chairman,
Commissioner Bernard.
Just briefly, Chief, I'm very happy to hear about the reduction, obviously, in auto theft, if you will, and certainly carjacking. But my question to you was when she did this investigation and put this team together, did you discover that this was done by one group of people, or was this just random, just kids deciding they want to ride from point A to point B?
Yes.
Was it a ring?
Yes, it was both. It was both. It was organized, and we're still disrupting a lot of it. We had the Kia kids that were learning from YouTube how to steal Kias. We had, and unfortunately, because I just said that's probably going to happen a little more now. But we also had some more sophisticated theft issues, and we're not declaring victory. We're nowhere near done. But I have been impressed with her approach. Her relentless pursuit of those who break the law and steal cars and carjack folks in our community, and to take that and expand it out in an area where it's much needed. It's exciting.
Thank you.
through the chair.
Commissioner Burton.
You know, I'd like to raise a question to our acting secretary, Robert Brown. The question for Mr. Robert Brown is, what time frame do the board normally take on when we review each one of these line items when it comes to promotions? And did we fall within that time frame this go along, knowing that an email just went out yesterday.
Through the chair, Commissioner Burton, the report is called the chairperson report. And anytime he deems that he wants something on that report, whether it's today or tomorrow, we then have to put that on the report because it's his report.
And so that answered my question right there. I mean, the chairperson put this on a report today for the board meeting, but we haven't done our research. We haven't gone through these promotions. This board has passed promotions before in the past and have not gone through these. We have not sat down with our staff. We have not even communicated with each other about this, you know, and so.
Let the record reflect that that's a generous use of the word "we," as has been communicated by commissioners that their due diligence has been done, questions have been asked.
This was sent out yesterday, Mr. Chairman. This was sent out yesterday. So this was sent out yesterday evening, and we vote on this matter today. This is preposterous. This is rubber stamping promotions. I'm not saying that we don't have good candidates right here. I'm not saying that at all. It's the timing that matters. It's the timing that's important. We're talking about our citizens of Detroit. We're talking about promoting new, people to new positions. We haven't vet any of this. This is straight up rubber stamping like usual. We need to stop that.
Again, there is a very generous
we as a
use of
board need more time to really go through this. We should not receive an email late last night and we be voting on this matter today. We should have more time. And I believe every one of you actually agree on that. We can't get stuff like late last night and vote on it today. We have not gone through this. We have not raised questions.
Thank you so very much. Commissioner Woods.
Yeah, through the chair. Again,
it's wrong.
We received this information a week ago.
Correct.
It wasn't yesterday.
We didn't receive it a week ago. The
Point of
staff
order,
said
Commissioner
they
Burton.
sent it out last night.
I'm going to ask that
Presley
you maintain decorum.
put it on agenda for today.
No, we received the materials, Mr. Chair, a week ago. To be able to do our due diligence on this. And so I was in Washington, D.C. I was supposed to been at the National Prayer Breakfast. I skipped the National Prayer Breakfast so I can be here. I was there all week. I was supposed to be in there. And I got on a plane early this morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, to make sure I'm at this meeting so I can do my responsibility.
What date did you get it on? This went out yesterday.
Point of
What date
order,
did you get it on?
Commissioner Burton.
No, for point of information. What
Point
date
of order,
did you get it on?
Commissioner Burton.
This
You have
came
not
out
been
yesterday. You didn't get it a week ago. You got it yesterday.
Commissioner
What date
Burton.
was it?
Commissioner Burton, you have not been
For point of information.
You have not been recognized. Go right ahead, Commissioner Woods.
Mr. Chair, I received the materials yesterday, and it was updated that we would put it on the agenda for today. So it was on the agenda. The agenda is different from the materials and the promotions. And so we received that information, and I had great conversations, not only with this Mr. Brown, but with others, and I also talked to DPD. I talked to his chief of staff, and made some inquiries about all of the promotions. I had a deep dive with him, and that's why I'm back here, to make sure that our city have the product that it needs to continue to keep us safe. And so we're here for them, and I would leave it like that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Commissioner Bernard.
Just quickly, we have a department of more than 2,000 officers, and it's headed by the chief. And as you said earlier, if you have confidence in your CEO, then you approve the persons that he or she wants to promote. I'm not familiar with this sort of, in corporate America, it doesn't exist. And in business, it doesn't exist, in a well-run business. If you have confidence in his recommendations, then you approve them and you move it forward. There's nothing really more for us to do. Once the promotions have been reviewed by OCI and by our staff, that's the end of it. That should be the end of it. And in terms of a deep dive, Commissioner, I'm not, the deep dive is a good thing maybe, but as I said earlier to Deputy Chief Haynes, you don't have to be squeaky clean to get my approval for your promotion. As a matter of fact, the person that has no dirt on their uniform never got in the game. So the things happen in life, things happen in business, things happen obviously in policing. But I'm interested in promoting those people who have shown the discipline and obviously the commitment to policing, and sometimes that means that you get your uniform dirty. So I'm more interested in what the facts have indicated from OCI and everything else than everything else. I'm sorry, Mr. Chief, if that offended you. I didn't mean to, but I'm just saying.
Thank you.
You can be a hell of a leader and have had issues in terms of your career.
Vice Chair Bell.
Mr. Chairman, I want to focus back on the lieutenant. I just want to endorse this promotion. This is a young officer I was familiar with when I was on the job. It's great to see one rise through the rank of her caliber. She was a quiet spirit during that time, but quite obvious she outlined all her involvement. I'm just pleased to vote in favor of her.
Commissioner Banks.
Yeah, through the chair. You know, I know you mentioned, Commissioner Bernard, that we got to have faith in the chief. And you know, I agree that the chief is a credible man, but I still got to see some documentation on an officer, though. I still got to, before I put my stamp on it.
I agree.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, again, the motion on the floor is to approve the chief's recommendation to promote Lieutenant Dana Russell to the rank of captain. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
I abstain because I don't agree with today's process.
The ayes have it. Congratulations, Captain Dana Russell, and we hope for your speedy recovery.
Finally, I'm recommending to this honorable body Lieutenant Fugenzi, Matthew Fugenzi. He was appointed to Detroit Police Department on January 17, 2007. As a police officer, Captain Fugenzi was assigned to the Northwestern District. In addition to his officer duties, he served in the Southwestern District Patrol Operations, the 8th Precinct Patrol Operations, and the B&E Task Force, and the 6th Precinct Detective Unit. On August 8, 2014, Captain Fugenzi was promoted by this honorable body to detective and returned to the 6th Precinct Detective Unit. On December 16, 2016, Captain Fugenzi was promoted to the rank of sergeant and was again returned to Investigative Operations Detective Unit, but this time of the 2nd Precinct. On May 5th, 2021, this honorable body agreed with me and promoted Lieutenant Fugenzi to, and that's a typo, and I hate when I'm reading and I find one, to captain. And we'll skip that. Captain Fugenzi was also served as the officer in charge of the Investigative Operations Unit of the 11th Precinct. On October 3rd, Captain Fugenzi took over the Crime Intelligence Bureau, or Crime Intel, where he served as the officer in charge and currently serves as the officer in charge of Crime Intelligence, Notification and Control, AVERT, and the CompStat Unit. Captain Fugenzi also serves as the coordinator of our NFL Draft Task Force for 2024, and that is a job. He is coordinating with the NFL, probably talking to me more than he wants to every day about our strategy, our crime strategy. He, along with Commander Sanir Russell, as well as Deputy Chief Hayes, as well as AC Ewing, they coordinate all the crime strategies for us citywide, all the special projects, all the big events, along with our Metro Division and our downtown services, so they have their hands full. The biggest thing that they do is prepare us for big events. We were very well prepared for the Lions parade, but unfortunately we can use those resources elsewhere. But they've done a really good job anticipating and strategizing along those lines with any and every event that we have. Captain Fugenzi holds an Associate of Applied Science in Law Enforcement and is currently pursuing a Bachelor's in Administration in Cybersecurity from Cleary University. I thought you were at Wayne State. So you're at Wayne State or Cleary? You left Wayne State? Okay. Also, Captain Fugenzi has completed the 2023 Michigan Police Executive Development Seminar, sponsored by the FBI and the Michigan chapter of the FBI. It is with great pride that I present to you Captain Fugenzi, to Commander, the recommendation. As you see in their backgrounds, this is a strong candidate pool. I submitted this paperwork over a week ago, and you see that we look very long and hard at their backgrounds and their citizens' complaints, and this is a outstanding candidate pool for these positions.
Thank you. Will Captain Fajenzi please stand? All right, so the chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to promote Captain Matthew Fajenzi to the rank of commander.
So move.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Abstain.
The ayes have it. Congratulations, Commander Matthew Fajenzi. Right ahead.
Through the honorable board, I just want to start off saying thank you. Thank you for your confidence and your vote. To Chief White, thank you. To the senior management team here, thank you. To the field support team, AC Ewing, DC Hayes, Commander Russell, all the command officers that are in this room for mentoring me throughout my career. I'm excited about this next chapter in my career, excited about leading this great department, and most importantly, this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Moore.
Where's the commander going?
Hold that one. He's going downtown. He's going to be partnering with Dana, and he's going to go downtown, continue the work with the NFL draft, and strategize on the large crowds that we're expecting this summer.
Okay, thank you. Let the record reflect, again, this, to your point, Commissioner Burton, has not been ideal. Obviously, in ideal circumstances, we would have preferred to have a few weeks at least to review these documents, but I do appreciate my colleagues' flexibility and due diligence to make sure that this gets done, because timing is important on both ends. So one, that we have time to actually vet the information, but also that these individuals are in their proper positions in an appropriate amount of time, so that the business of the department doesn't wane or is hindered by having vacancies in some very significant positions. And so I hope that we can work better in ensuring that we can get that time, but again, we are grateful that we were able to complete this today. Any further for the chief's report or comments for the chief? Hearing none, again, let the record reflect that Commissioner Carter has joined us. And again, thank you so very much, Chief. At this time, we will move forward to oral communications.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. We currently have 6 speakers. I will call those present in the room first. First is going to be Minister Eric Blunt. Please share your name and speak directly into the microphone.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
I am relieved that Commissioner Bernard didn't ask the people being promoted to stand up and you offer your personal and professional services to them. So no one has to describe you as being similar to a woman of the night. This whole process is corrupt.
Yep.
Let's look at it basically.
Yep.
No one said anything when the 2022 union contract was approved. That union contract disallowed any disciplinary history to be considered when someone is being promoted.
Yep.
It went even further.
Yep.
To remove or reduce the retention period of police officers' disciplinary history. You have no other choice. You just do what he says to do. We have seen this chief and this board promote police officers who have had over 88 complaints.
Yep.
And it just goes on and on. But Commissioner Bernard, you say the quiet parts out loud. When you threatened me one time in this meeting with a lawsuit, you didn't say you were going to go to the Board of Police Commissioners' attorney. You said you were going to go and talk to Conrad Mallett. You just proved that you are not here for police officer misconduct. You are not here about civilian oversight. You are here at the service of the mayor and the police department. That's all I got.
All right, Minister Blunt, I do recognize that public citizens have the opportunity to make their comments. I know that you have a wealth of words at your disposal. I just challenge that you try to find a better set to describe what you're attempting to describe in referring to my colleague. I do think that there is a line that can be crossed, and I know that you can find a better set of words to use in describing what you need to share. So I challenge you to do so. Thank you. Our next speaker.
I'll take your recommendations under consideration.
Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Ms. Smith, and after Ms. Smith, it'll be Mr. Ronald Foster.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Blessed day today with the promotions. I am very happy that I was here to see all of this. And I wish sometimes our commissioners would behave and understand what this body is all about and not keep up confusion all the time. It's disgusting. We need to get along. So with that said, and then also I know we have a right to say what we got to say, but sometimes you just go off board and it's not necessary. And that includes some of the people that we have coming here and speaking to you. You're doing a good job. I know this for a fact because I've been around here longer than most of you, been up in your age, 91 years. I started with the police department in '73 under Coleman Young. So I do know a little bit about the police still. So I just wish you just behave and treat each other with kindness and know that we're not going to be here long. So we got to do the best we can while we're here. I have something that I want to discuss with, mainly for the parents. I don't want to talk about the police department because you do all right as far as I'm concerned. When you do wrong, then I'll tell you about it. But the parents is who I would like to address. If there are any parents that's listening or know anything about what's going on in our city, crime, and you know who's doing it, our teenagers. I believe that if you have better control over your teenagers by knowing who they associate with, where they go, if they're not in school, why, get a job. I raised 5. I think I done told you this over and over again. I'm proud of mine. But the fact is, we parents have to do something more and attentive with our children. I know for a fact that this is not getting any better. And then we have some grown-ups that's acting fools out here, shooting and killing each other. We don't need this. This is a lovely city. I came here 1960 Labor Day, and I fell in love with Detroit.
Thank you. That's your time. We missed you these last couple of weeks. So good to see you again.
But it's good to be seen, believe me.
Indeed.
Amen.
I got it, baby. I missed you too.
Our next speaker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Few things. As we go into a new year, you guys got a budget season coming up. The community, not just myself, but community is constantly complaining about 2 staff members that you have. It's not going to go unnoticed. It's not going to go unchecked. I advise that you guys get those staff members that you have on a payroll under control before you go to city council with your budget meetings. The community is very adamant about those 2 individuals and the lengthy amount of grievances that are unresolved, the ones that went without any commissioner's signature. Those things are unacceptable. $250,000 in payroll, that has to be addressed before y'all get to city council with your budgets. Secondly, ministers. We need more ministers in our community to conduct themselves as ministers. That means to judge people righteously by first looking at yourself and accepting the salvation that you had before you spit things out your mouth and judge someone else. You know, in Matthew 15:11, it says, it's not what goes into the mouth of a man that defiles him, but it's what comes out of him that defiles a man. Thirdly, we need public servants to be public servants, not to have an agenda, not to pick any sides. I don't favor anybody, but I do like the policies of Ms. Waters. I can say that despite competition or personal things, she do ensure that public safety have the things that they need when it's brought to their attention. Not just iOS, but the Public Safety Committee as well is very involved in what's going on in this community and ensuring that we all have what we need to have a safe community. So I appreciate you all for listening. We need more ministers in our community to combat the stuff that we have going on and
Thank you.
be a part of it.
Thank you. That's your time. And then let me also remind all public commenters to make sure that your comments are to the chair and not to any other individual.
We'll go into Zoom. The first caller is caller 124. And the next caller after that will be Ms. Parks, Ms. Laura Parks.
Okay, caller with the last three numbers, 124. Caller with the last number, 124. Are you there? All right, we'll come back. Next speaker.
See, getting them
Unmuted. Okay, we can wait.
Need a sister, John. Candace, ask.
While we're working on that, Mr. Brown, why don't you go ahead and give us our announcements?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Chair. The announcement. The next POPC community meeting will be Thursday, February the 8th at 6:30 p.m. with the 11th precinct hosting at Solomon Temple Church. That address is 2341 East 7 Mile. That's Solomon Temple's Church. And then the next community meeting will be Thursday, March 14th at 6:30 p.m. with the 10th precinct hosting. And Mr. Chair, that location is forthcoming. The monthly committee meeting scheduled for February 2024. We have the policy committee meeting Tuesday, February the 6th at 5 p.m. And we have the citizen complaint committee meeting Tuesday, February the 27th, also at 5 p.m. Mr. Chair, all those committee meetings would take place here at Public Safety Headquarters, and they could also be viewed on Zoom.
Thank you. Are we still working out the sound?
Mr. Chair, you want to see if I can assist her?
Well, I think we got Ms. Blossom trying to work that out. I'm trying to be efficient here, so why don't you go ahead and give us the secretary's report as they continue to work, and if we aren't able to get it by then yeah, I'll add you to the team.
All right. Mr. Chair, there's current 7 incoming correspondence, and I'll highlight a couple of them. Last week, DPD submitted their fiscal year 2025 budget, and I call it / presentation. And DC HAR also, from a request from the board for CCR's outcomes to sustain cases request, that is also in your package behind tab number 6. The BOPC fiscal manager submitted a 1-page update for the process of the budget from the board end to all the way to city council. And that's also in tab 6 in your binders. And Mr. Chair, based on that, that needs to go to the budget subcommittee so they can then get the full presentation, which is part of the budget. in order to bring it back to this board.
So you said this last item of the DPD budget update from Mr. Freeze needs to go to the budget subcommittee?
Correct, sir.
All right, well, let's send that to budget.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Moore.
I have a quick question about your report, Mr. Brown. Do you know, and maybe this is an OCI question, what's the difference between dismissals and termination?
I'll leave that to Chief
And so
Warren.
this is on the chart, the graph that was provided to us. So Chief Investigator Warfield, do you have a response on the difference between a dismissal and a termination?
Sir, no, I do not. This is actually the first I'm seeing of this, so I do not. I can get that information and get it back to you.
Thank you.
Who created this document?
Through the chair, this report came through from the attorney, I believe through DC Ha.
Okay, thank you. All right, we ready?
I'm going to move on to former Commissioner William Davis.
Okay, former Commissioner Davis.
Good evening. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'd like to start off by saying I'm pleased to hear that the number of auto thefts and carjackings is down. Hopefully, y'all can do a greater effort to reaching out to insurance companies to help to get our insurance down, because we pay an awful high amount of insurance in this city, and anything we can use to help to make this city more affordable, the better. Also, I was pleased to hear that that two employees that had been a problem and that we have been constantly talking about at City Council, because I talk to City Council every week, and a number of other people do, like Mr. Foster. And, so when you do have people that have been doing questionable things and been on the city roll, getting money that they shouldn't be getting, that's troubling. I talk to people all over this country, and people from all over this country talk to me regularly about a number of things. But, frequently it's about our auto insurance and about this board of police commissioners. I think the board is actually moving in a better direction than it has been quite some time. Other than the last person y'all promoted as vice chair. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker will be Denise Lyles, and after her, it will be Ms. Victoria Shaw.
Okay. Denise Lyles. Denise Lyles.
Good afternoon, Honorable Board. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
Great. I didn't get the police reports because I did get on the meeting late, but I remember from before you had quite a few young people that had applied for the youth board of police commissioners.
You have the Youth Advisory Council? Yes.
Yes, thank you. And I'm with District 5 CAC, and we're looking for a young person to be on the board. I'm just asking, can you ask some of your youth if they would like to participate? They have to live in District 5, though.
Yes, we'll make sure that Ms. Blossom connects with you to ensure there's some youth representation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Ms. Shaw?
Ms. Shaw?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Commissioners, this is Victoria, President of the Grand River Community Block Club. The board recently approved some significant staff positions that are needed to provide well-rounded civilian oversight. I would like to welcome and congratulate the board's recently onboarded civilian oversight analysts. For the board to have a staff member dedicated to independent analysis of OCI and DPD data has potential to be a significant win for Detroiters. I look forward to public reports coming soon. Can the board please provide the public a status on all open positions, including the following: Executive Administrative Assistant 2, the board approved this budgeted position to provide legal assistance and research supporting the board secretary and attorney. Legal questions arise from the board, OCI, and administrative staff in the fulfillment of various duties, such as investigating complaints, policy analysis, and others. The position was posted and all applicants were shared with the board prior to the 2023 holiday recess, and to my understanding, the board has not reviewed candidates as of yet. The executive policy manager position, if this position is now vacant, I hope the board will prioritize this posting and interviewing of candidates. Not only will it provide a resource to provide the policy committee support in addressing the backlog of DPD policies for review, but would also provide a resource to partner with the fiscal manager in grant writing for increased funding for oversight. And then finally, open investigator positions. The board is budgeted to appoint, I think it's at least 3 more investigators, and those positions were posted and applicants were shared with the board on January 11th. And I don't think interviews have happened with that either. And we are well aware of the backlog. The city's fiscal year ends on June 30th. Each day a position is open causes the budget to be underutilized and some component of oversight to go unfulfilled. So filling a position should be a priority. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Do we have caller 124 back?
I'm going to try that one more time, and I'll try Ms. Parks again.
Okay.
And they're still not able to
Okay.
join us.
All right. Well,
Hello?
hey there. Is
Yes,
this caller
this is
124?
Ms. Park.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, yes, my question is, have the Board of Police Commissioners disciplined Willie Bell from District 4, which is in Detroit, based on the IG report last year? That's what I need to know. Also, I need to know if you guys are looking at all of the complaints against the police officers before you all agree to give anyone a new position, like a lieutenant or a sergeant or anything, because there's too many officers and too many complaints that we hear all across the city about police officers. Number one, half of them don't live in the city of Detroit, so they really don't have a vast interest in the city of Detroit. Once they come here, get our tax dollars, they take it back to their city. So that's the second part of it. But I thank you guys for taking my call today.
Thank you. Well, yeah, so I would say that relative to a 2000, I think you said a report from the OIG from last year that you may be referring to, we can follow up on that. But relative to looking at complaints that are against officers prior to promotions, yes, that is a part of our packets. We do look at if there's any pending investigations, any internal affairs investigation, as well as how many community citizen complaints have been filed against officers prior to their promotion. All right, again, we thank everyone for their public comment and truly do appreciate you adding to the productivity of today's meeting. After having already received the acting board secretary's communication and report, as well as announcements, we can now move to new business. And again, as I attempted to caution us at the very beginning of the meeting, this is when we're going to play a little bit of musical chairs, as we do have 5 closed sessions. And so closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268A, the department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay, but with medical benefits for police officer Serge Lavelle, badge number 2529, assigned to downtown services. And so the chair entertains a motion to enter into closed session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Or
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, again, it's a roll call vote. And so, Mr. Brown?
Chairperson Presley?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks? Commissioner Burton?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
yes.
Commissioner Hernandez? Commissioner Gamble? And Commissioner Woods?
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. And so we will now take a 5-minute recess to set the room. And so again, we ask that everyone please exit the room. We'll take a roll call. Mr. Brown?
Chairperson Presley,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Bell, Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard,
Present.
Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Burton,
Present.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Woods.
Present.
All right, we do indeed have a quorum, and so we have returned back to open session to consider the matter of considering administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits for police officer Serge Lavelle, badge number 2529, assigned to downtown services. The chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to place police officer Serge Lavelle on administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits.
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion, Mr. Chairman.
There hasn't been a motion. I was
So moved.
entertaining one. So, is there a second? It's been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Who seconded?
Vice Chair Bell. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to amend that, for suspension for up to for 3 days without pay for this officer.
Hearing no second, there is no amendment. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, again, this motion is to accept the chief's recommendation to place police officer Serge Lavelle on administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
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 I ask that Mr.
Abstain.
Brown take a roll call vote.
Chairperson Presley,
Aye or yes?
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Bernard,
No.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Burton,
I abstain. I think 3 days was more appropriate, so therefore I abstain.
The law
Your abstention is recorded as a no vote.
Abstention is the no vote.
Thank you.
Duly noted. Yep.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Abstain.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, so with 5 yes votes and 4 no votes, that motion passes.
No, it didn't. It has to have a two-thirds.
I thought it had to have 2/3.
I thought 2/3 was a matter of getting in and out of committee, but I thought that to do it is just majority vote required.
No, that's not true. Two-thirds. It's two-thirds vote.
It would be 2/3.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. So no, that motion then fails, not reaching the 2/3 majority.
And I want to thank you, sir, for your service to our country and to our department. Thank you.
All right, so next, the chair entertains a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268A, Department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits for Police Officer Joshua Goodman, badge number 2170, assigned to the 10th Precinct. Is there a second?
Support.
Been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, support, but I'd like to have a 3-4 minute recess real quick.
That will happen. Okay, so all those in favor, please signify by saying, 2/3 is necessary. Go right ahead, Mr. Brown. So just to be clear, though, so the 2/3 roll call vote required is both for us to enter into closed session and for the measure to be passed?
Right.
Right.
It is absolutely required for you to go into closed session.
Okay.
It is my belief that in order to adopt a motion to suspend an officer, that requires 2/3.
Under the union contract.
Anytime you have a vote that requires more than majority, that is always a counted vote. So you can do it by roll call, you can do it by show of hands. If it's a roll call vote, then you don't need both roll call and show of hands. What the parliamentarian doesn't know is whether or not the OMA requires a roll call vote in order for you to adopt a motion to suspend. The parliamentarian does not know that has to be a roll call vote.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't want to be misleading or get out of my
Thank you.
pen.
I appreciate that. Commissioner Woods.
Yeah, well, I would, I think that we need to get our council to get on that immediately, because we made a vote. And if it is correct, as you stated, then, everything changed. And I think we need to.
To the chair.
Excuse me.
Yeah, let him complete his comments. Go right ahead, Commissioner Woods.
Yeah, so we need to get some legal direction on that.
Yeah, duly noted. Commissioner Burton.
Through the chair, I just want to make notice that a 2/3 has always been the standard process during my decade on this board.
Okay, thank you. Again, this is in discussion, and so roll call vote so that we might enter into closed session. Mr. Brown?
Chairperson Presley,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard,
Yes?
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Burton,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, the motion passes. We'll take a 5-minute recess so that the room might be set up for closed session. All right, we can now call the open session back into order. We'll have attendance. Mr. Brown?
Chairperson Presley,
Here.
Vice Chair Bell,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard,
Present.
Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Burton,
Present.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Woods.
Present.
All right, we do indeed have a quorum, and we are back into open session again under the consideration of the board's, under the consideration of the chief's recommendation to have a change of duty status for police officer Joshua Goodman, badge number 2170, to administrative leave without pay, but with medical benefits. Is there a motion?
So move.
I didn't do it, so let me do it the way I normally do. The chair entertains a motion to accept the chief's recommendation to place Officer Joshua Goodman on administrative leave without pay, but with medical benefits.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Chairperson Presley,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard,
No?
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Burton,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
And so 8 yes votes, 1 no vote. That motion passes. All right, the chair now entertains a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15268A, the department's request for the board to consider administrative leave. Before I do that, I want to let the public know that, again, we were made aware that item C on the agenda will not be handled today. Again, item C will not be handled on the agenda today. Okay, and so pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15268A, the department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits for police officer Brianna Cabano, badge number 2806, assigned to the 2nd Precinct. Is there a second?
Support.
It's been properly moved to second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Brown, roll call.
Chairperson Presley,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard,
Yes?
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Burton,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
Okay, we are now into closed session. We will have a 5-minute recess to set up the room for closed session. You all are getting your steps in today. I hope you got your eye watches on. All right, we now call this open session back to order. We'll have a roll call. Mr. Brown.
Chairperson Presley,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Bell,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard, Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Burton,
Present.
Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Woods.
Present.
All right, we do indeed have a quorum, and again, we are here considering line item D, the department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits of police officer Brianna Cabano, badge number 06 assigned to the 2nd Precinct. The chair entertains a motion to accept the the chair entertains a motion to accept the department's recommendation for the board to consider administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits for police officer Brianna Cabano.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, Mr. Brown.
Chairperson Presley.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard.
No.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Burton.
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, with 8 votes and 1 no votes, that motion passes. The chair now entertains a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15268A. The department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay, but with medical benefits for police officer Dana Sears.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Presley.
Yes.
Chairperson Presley.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Burton.
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a 3-minute recess to set the room up for closed session. Again, I truly do appreciate your patience. All right, we'll call open session back to order. Mr. Brown, a roll call.
Chairperson Presley.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Smith. Commissioner Bernard.
Present.
Commissioner Banks.
Present.
Commissioner Burton.
Present.
Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Woods.
Present.
Okay, and so we are considering the department's request for the board to place police officer Dana Sears, badge number 4171, on administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits. The chair entertains a motion to place police officer Dana Sears, The chair entertains a motion to accept the department's request to place police officer Dana Sears, badge number 4171, on administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Brown, roll call.
Chairperson Presley.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Bell.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard.
I will abstain.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Burton.
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Woods.
Yes.
All right, with the 8 yes votes and 1 no votes, that motion passes. All right, we thank you for your diligence and your patience today. With that, the chair entertains a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Support.
Been properly moved and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Mr. Chair,
The ayes have it. I mean, how does that work? Vote has been had. The ayes have it now.
Chair.
He was trying to get your
I
attention.
was trying to get your attention when you was in motion.
Until
Okay.
the motion to adjourn is pronounced.
All right, go right ahead and extend us, Commissioner Banks, after
I don't
6:20
know if what
p.m.
it was one of those 6, but I'll let you know.
Okay, go right ahead.
Now, you go skip new business?
That is new business, sir. No, I didn't skip new business. All we have just done is under new business. Everything all the items that we've just done.
There's nothing on the agenda called new business. When you adopted the agenda, that would have been the time to add new business.
So
You didn't call new business out though, Mr. Chair.
I am so confused how we could have had 4 closed sessions that are listed under new business. That's where we are in the agenda.
Okay, but I didn't hear you call it out though.
Okay, sir. What is it that you have, Commissioner Banks?
That's okay. We're gonna leave it at 6:20.
Okay.
6:20.
So, all those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye, because the motion still is standing, correct?
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed, no? No. All right, the ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.